Hello, welcome to The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and today I'm going to review a thing. Anniversary specials, I guess we can all say, are one of the biggest highlights in a television show. It not only celebrates the birth of an awesome show, but it brings characters and humongous plots together to create one big, massive, epic episode to celebrate this show. It's safe to say that anniversary specials, I guess, can make a show awesome and look forward to seeing this anniversary special since the show has gone so long. And when you have an anniversary special, it makes the episode feel right. However, the Spongebob one feels very wrong. I've given my opinion on Spongebob numerous times on this show, including the first Wild review that I did when I reviewed the Spongebob movie Sponge Out of Water. And my opinion stays the same. I think Season 1 through 3 are the best seasons ever. The movie was great. Season 4 was an okay season with a mix of good and bad episodes. And Season 5 onward isn't that great. Though the Christmas episode they recently, well, not recently had, but the recent Christmas episode they had with the stop motion is pretty good. And I'll even admit that the two new episodes that premiered only a few months ago, Tudor Sauce and Lost in Bikini Bottom, I have to say were pretty funny. Truth or Square, however, is like a Season 6 episode, and it's celebrating the 10th anniversary of SpongeBob. And is everything bad in this? Not that bad, but not great. What do I mean by that? Let's find out. Let's dive right into the 10th anniversary special, Truth or Square. So there are two different plots in this special. You deal with the SpongeBob plot, but there's also a Patchy plot. So, it's a tongue twister. So right now, let's just deal with the SpongeBob plot, and we'll get to the Patchy stuff later. So the plot in the SpongeBob parts of all this is that it's the Krusty Krab's 11th anniversary. And that's the first thing wrong with this. 11th. What number is 11th? Are you trying to say 11 and then 7? It's 117 years old? Is that what you're trying to tell us? How old is Mr. Krabs? He's the one that built this whole place. Because it's such an important day, Mr. Krabs hires Patrick to be his bodyguard, so this way they can protect the Krusty Krab from Plankton trying to steal the formula, seeing on how it will be a busy day, and it's a perfect opportunity for Plankton to steal it since Krabs will be distracted. And then we get a whole bunch of montages of Squidward lying on the job and Plankton's meanest schemes. Do we get any clips from past episodes from the last 10 years? No! We get new clips. And that's the biggest thing wrong with this episode. The way the episode is formatted looks like it's going to be a clip show in some parts, meaning that we would get clips from other episodes. But we don't get that. We get new clips, which kind of bug me. I'd like to see some old Plankton parts in new SpongeBob. That makes sense. Basically what I'm trying to get at is that it's not a clip show. And from an interview that the creators said, I think it was, I guess they said they were parodying a clip show. You can't do that. You can't hype us with a 10th anniversary SpongeBob episode just so you could parody something. You can't hype us like that if you're going to parody something. So minutes before the Krusty Krab is about to open, SpongeBob says he's got one big giant surprise for Mr. Krabs to go along with the decorations he put together, which is a giant Krusty Krab ice sculpture, and they all end up getting stuck inside the freezer. And that's actually the main plot of this. They get stuck in the freezer, and they have to try to get back out so they can attend to all the customers. And by doing that, they have to travel through the vents, which are on top of the Krusty Krab, but on that map, it's on the bottom, which, you know, there's no continuity there at all. It's a big continuity error, but oh, okay. It's SpongeBob, I mean, you know. Along the line, we see all these characters get trapped, we see them go through dead ends, and we see some memories, including an old-fashioned Krusty Krab commercial, which is actually kind of cool, seeing on how we've never seen that before. And we also get a memory that hypes out everybody in the episode what the Krabby Patty formula is. Yeah, halfway throughout this episode, Plankton ends up being in the Krusty Krab vents for some weird reason, because he has to be there. And SpongeBob is just telling him what the formula is. Just dead right there. You just forget that he's a villain for a second. But, yeah, so there's a big memory, and Mr. Krabs is like, alright, I'm going to show you the formula. And they go on this long journey that was pointless, but I guess it's because they didn't want to make sure they were being followed, even though they were inside. And we don't even get to know what's in a Krabby Patty. They hyped us just for, like, disappointment, which really sucks. On top of that, we get to see a not correct past of Squidward, without SpongeBob living next to him, even though he's got Patrick living next to him. He's still working at the Krusty Krab and is all happy, even though Jim's not there. And then we do get a clever scene on how a pineapple got underneath the water, which, you know, is pretty clever. And that's, along with the Krusty Krab commercial, that's like also another memory I guess is exceptional. Because we haven't seen that. And I guess the way SpongeBob is, the way it's said that SpongeBob moves in, it is pretty clever. So, yeah, I like that. But on top of that, we then get a cameo from Sandy, even though she should be in this episode. And yeah, then we get a memory of SpongeBob getting married to Sandy, which is another thing that hyped up everybody, because apparently on the internet, SpongeBob and Sandy are a couple, even though there's no love romance thing in this show. And turns out it's just a play. Misleading, that's what the commercials are. It's a following theme in SpongeBob. They did it with the movie. I guess I should probably go back a little and go do some important things that I'm now realizing I left out. In the beginning of the episode, we see SpongeBob as a fetus. We get a nice little song, and there's a really creepy scene with Mr. Krabs stalking on everybody. This guy's cheap to not buy a real bodyguard, but he'll buy a whole bunch of cameras to just implant in everybody's home and around town. That's... Sandy's bathroom, really? You pervert. You disgust me.
Disgust me.
So by the end, SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and yeah, even Plankton make it out of the vent, and when it's time to open up the Krusty Krab, nobody's there. So SpongeBob sings a Christmas carol, drawing everybody back in, and it's just the same usual thing with Plankton trying to steal the formula, and it's just typical SpongeBob after this. And yeah, that's the SpongeBob part of this 10th anniversary, but let's look at the other side of this anniversary special. That takes up more time than the SpongeBob parts, because I guess altogether the SpongeBob parts are like 25 to 30 minutes, a regular SpongeBob episode length. But it's extended because we get some Patchy parts. So let's look at Patchy's side of the special, which is a little more creepier than Mr. Krabs putting cameras in everyone's homes. So Patchy is throughout the whole special from beginning to end. And it actually kind of starts out with a montage of clips from Patchy from past episodes, which should be in SpongeBob's parts, but I guess they didn't want to spend money on that. They're just like, okay, let's make some more clips, you know, that are false. So anyway, the real plot of this is that Patchy's mom drops him off at Nickelodeon Animation Studios so he can get SpongeBob to be a guest on his 10th anniversary special. And we end up seeing him and a guard kind of like have a little conflict, but then the guard lets him in, even though it's kind of weird that he thinks a cartoon character is real. And he allows him to go inside of SpongeBob's office, where he finds a Rolodex, and we get the most cheapest and crappiest guest appearance ever by everyone, because they only have one line. They look like that they're just sitting at home doing nothing, or just doing their regular stuff, even though most of these people should be on sets, seeing that they're movie stars. And they have like one line, and I don't even know who any of these people are. I know some, but I don't know all of them. They're on screen for only a few seconds. And it's a shame too, because throughout this whole time, Patchy's not being funny. He's just being very annoying and a little creepy, seeing that he thinks a cartoon character is real. It's funny when he's at home, but I mean, he's around other people now, which is a little creepy. He's not doing what he would usually do in every other episode where he'd introduce a SpongeBob cartoon. He's not even introducing a cartoon. He's trying to get something together. And it's a shame that he's not even funny in this. You know, Patchy's usually the highlight of SpongeBob. I physically watched 3 full episodes of Patchy in SpongeBob just yesterday. And it's a shame that he's not funny in this. Anyway, so continuing on, after like 20 minutes or 10 minutes of the roller deck, he kidnaps the late Robin Williams and kind of throws him into the green room, or kind of forcing him to follow him into the green room. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of with Robin on this. If a pirate guy came up to me, told me to follow him, I'd be a little petrified. Like, I think Robin Williams is the only funny part throughout this whole special because he has no idea what he's doing. I don't even think he was supposed to be in this SpongeBob episode. I think this was like a hidden camera prank that they just decided to put into SpongeBob.
I don't know what's going on here.
Well, in all reality, that was the only Robin Williams part ever because he kind of left after that. And we get a whole bunch of other pointless guest stars, including people that aren't even famous or kind of dead. And we even get Pink. You know, that band that shouldn't really be for children, but it's on the Children's Network. On SpongeBob, you know. So Patchy starts his show, and what a shock. SpongeBob isn't there. So he goes searching for him, leaving all the guests behind. This guy is nuts. We then get a musical number from Pink, which isn't too bad. It's actually kind of catchy, the song. I was caught singing it for a couple of days when I first saw it. But then we see Patchy on a boat, driving into the Pacific Ocean, then get eaten by a whale, and the next time we see him, he's living in the whale's mouth, and then we get a little history on how SpongeBob was made, which, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty clever. Then Patchy gets squirted out of the whale, back into the studio. He meets SpongeBob in a daydream, and Abraham Lincoln, who's credited as the guy in the penny, because Nickelodeon doesn't know who Abraham Lincoln is, shows him SpongeBob, and that's it. And then we get more clip shows. And then there's a countdown to the next 10th anniversary, which probably might be a little crappier than this one. And that was Truth or Square. Pointless name as well, Truth or Square. Like, I know the characters would... None of that stuff was... Why? This is a disgrace. Some parts are funny and some parts are clever. Some parts are interesting to watch. But none of it's funny. At first, I actually liked this episode, but now realizing all this, it's not that great. I think this is bad. Some parts are good, but not all of it. And this isn't how an anniversary special should have been. You want to know how this anniversary special should have been? This is how the SpongeBob anniversary special, Truth or Square, should have been. First off, don't call it Truth or Square. Call it Stuck in the Vents. I think that's a better name. Second, have what's going on in the SpongeBob episode, but get rid of all the creepy stuff, and instead of adding new footage, add some old episode clips. I think that'd be a great anniversary special. Keep some stuff like the pineapple going under the water and maybe the Krabby Patty old commercial. Get rid of the Sandy marriage thing in the play. Don't have Mr. Krabs walk off the set and then magically appear back onto screen. Don't have the Patty formula be shown. Have some more characters that were in the show have a big appearance in it. Don't give Sandy like one line. Give her like a whole bunch of lines. I don't know why she wasn't part of this. She's the smart one in all this. Have Plankton do his little schemes, but don't give us the same clip over and over again with him falling down the vents. Maybe the Christmas Carol was needed. I don't know. And maybe give us a number we can understand. Maybe have the Krusty Krab celebrate its 10th anniversary too. Maybe a little coincidence. Also, don't show us SpongeBob as a fetus. Please. Not in the mom's stomach. On the Patchy side, why don't we just have him throwing a party at his house for the SpongeBob cartoon that's playing? And yeah, not many people come to it. Maybe he'll invite a whole bunch of celebrities, but at least he won't try to kidnap them. Don't have him make a television special. Have him just be at home throwing a party. And that's it. That's all you need to make a SpongeBob special. Or a 10th anniversary in this case. Use some old clips. Use stuff that actually defines SpongeBob. You gotta look at the whole picture. Don't look at just one thing. So, on that note, now I want to hear what you people thought of this. What did you think about this anniversary special? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you seen it? Do you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video? Tell me in the comments, and also leave me your suggestions for whatever movie, TV show, or random thing you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing.